is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody, WFO Radio, final show of the week before we head off to the Texas Motorplex. If you're out at the Plex, maybe you're watching, you're getting the signal on your mobile device, that's great. Share it. Share it, baby. Share it, because we've got some great stuff going on. In fact, we have got Steve Torrence, the points leader, the most recent race winner, the U.S. Nationals winner. We're going to run those interviews all into one right here. Steve-O is going to join us just seconds from now and talk about going to the Plex and the Stampede of Speed, the Texas Fall Nationals, a race that has been pivotal over the years in the championship hunt. And this year, maybe bigger than ever because of the efforts of, Greg Abbott and Steve. We talked about that deal, the Texas Motorplex, where they're making this a big 7-day long festival. And I'm excited. We'll give some results as well. But before we do that, Steve's down there in the ready room waiting for you guys to share the show. I want to tell you about the people who make it possible for me to do this show. Like, for instance, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. Frank has trained many a champion driver, but they've got a program called the Dragster Adventure, which I think is great for a regular fan to drive a dragster, a super comp style dragster, to just get the experience. You'll fall in love with the sport even more than you think you love it right now when you know what it's like to drive one of these cars. Go to frankhawley.com, find out more information. Also, samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, Blockhead CNC programs, Motorsport EFI tuning, CNC programming. They teach it all, and they also help you get a job once you graduate. Go to samtech.edu today. Our great friends at Total Seal Piston Rings, we're going to have a question and answer coming up a little bit later on today, 4 o'clock Eastern time on the Total Seal page and group and YouTube channel. Keith Jones, Lake Speed, answering questions about ring seal, but also that'll be available on podcast later on this week. And we're doing a trackside tech talk, 11:30 a.m. approximately at the Motorplex on Friday. I'll be hosting that, totalseal.com. And then there's my great friend, Marvin Rodak, rodakscoffeeandgrills.com, the hot sauces and spice rubs. Everything's good. Grilling, tools, tips, information. You want to buy a barbecue down there in Fort Worth, Texas. They've got all the best stuff, man, for the outdoor kitchen. And Marvin makes some great coffee. And I think he made a Capco blend a couple years in the past. All right, let's speak to the man of the hour and the week in the last 3 years, if talking Top Fuel, Mr. Steve Torrence. What's up, Steve? How are you?
I'm good, Joe. How are you today?
Good. Now, some would say, why are you not out testing on this amazing open test opportunity provided by the Texas Motorplex? That never happens, to be able to test on the same week of a race.
No, it never does. It's just logistically, we've been on the road for 4 weeks. We had a weekend off. My guys needed to rest. I mean, they've been working really hard, and I don't know what we're going to learn, and maybe we're shooting ourselves in the foot by not going. But I think that giving them an extra day of rest, giving them a day to stay at home with their family and travel today is what they're doing. I think it was something that we decided that we should do, and it's going to be a hot, tricky racetrack, but I don't think we're doing ourselves any disservice by not going.
Makes sense. You guys have been running well, running hot, and there's more things to balance than just track data, like the energy level and health of your guys. And that's something that's got to be very difficult to quantify. Just watch the Yankees lose last night. That had to hurt Dom and Bobby just like it hurt me. But Chad Green comes in. This guy's worn out, and you can see it just wore him into the ground the last quarter of the season. And you guys can't have that. So maybe the time off is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're hoping for, is just to be able to get back, let them get rested up, recuperate. We go Dallas, Bristol, back, and then go out west. So just these guys, you got to remember they were on the road for 4 weeks. They were on the road for a month, and it just takes a toll on you. And it's a good thing to be able to go back and just revitalize, rejuvenate, spend some time with your family, and you have a whole different mindset and mentality when you go back.
I can imagine. Now, this past weekend, though, before we get into the racing stuff, some things are more important than racing. And one of those things went down just a couple of days ago. Speaking of busy, I know Gary was up there in Maryland, but this is what I want to talk about. Dominic and Sarah got married. I know you were there. You witnessed it. Looks like it was an amazing thing. The whole team was there. Tell me what went down.
Man, it was unbelievable. I got married this year, and Dom and Sarah were supposed to get married last year in September, and were able to postpone it a year, and just by the blessings of the good Lord and nothing short of a miracle, and then just the strength and strive and determination that Dom Lagana has, um, man, it was humbling to see. And it was not traditional. Sarah was at the altar, her dad walked her down, and then Dom walked down under his own power in front of everybody. And to see that, there was not a dry eye in the whole place. And I mean, I get choked up right now just thinking about it, because that's our brother. And I mean, we're talking a year from the accident till the wedding, and that guy marches down through there, and he's on his own. They're his own 2 feet, but they're not factory equipment. But I mean, you'd never know it. Dom Lagana is by far the toughest, strongest man I know. And
Wow.
to see him marry his best friend, and see what she stuck with him through thick and thin. And I mean, it was mentally taxing. I can only imagine for her, and to see how elated and happy both of them were on that day, and to be able to share that with them, it was one of the most memorable things of my life.
Wow. That's tremendous. And again, perspective, right? Like the things that really matter. Drag racing matters, definitely matters. Championships matter, but those are the kind of things that without people like Dominic, drag racing wouldn't happen, right? You got to have people who are diehard and dedicated. He's certainly one of them. Then again, the Yanks lost last night, so it's not all happiness right now. But hey, no, perspective. That's it was not our year. So having you on for this is like a dual winner view here, because you won the Midwest Nationals, but we didn't have you after your U.S. Nationals win either, because it was just rapid fire, right? Like race after race after race. We went 4 in a row. I just want to ask you about that. Another milestone victory, winning Indy again. You're really stacking them up. You're poised to win your 50th, which is unbelievable. But just a thought on Indy, because that's kind of where things, got going right. And then you had a little off time between the most recent win, which people joke that it had been a long time since you had won. Not really, a couple races, but that means things are going well when people say things like that.
Indy is just Indy. This year it paid a little more than the rest of the races, but that's not what it's about. It's Indy, and if you're not a drag racing fan, it's difficult to parlay that to you. But points don't mean anymore. Money doesn't mean anymore. It's just the history that goes behind it. All the greats have won Indy, and it's just the one race that carries that load. And when you finally get the monkey off your back and you win it once, you would think that it would become easier, but it's not. I mean, that's how much weight it carries. It's the one that you want to win. If you don't win a single race all year, you want to win Indy. And so many people come, so many cars are there, so many people are trying to do it. And I've said it time and time again, you can win multiple championships, but if you don't win Indy, it's not a complete career. And so you carry that stress, you carry that pressure with you going there, and to be able to do it and have the momentum and the car run well. It was a great weekend for us. I mean, we were number 2 qualifier right there behind Brittany, and and Grubnick are running really strong, and that's kind of where the turning point, or it seemed to be the turning point for them, where things really started clicking. And I mean, we've had our hands full with them. So that was a good race to win and kind of get the ball rolling for us.
Get the ball rolling, which the back and forth has been going. Obviously, the reset, not something you're a fan of, but it is what it is. And now you're in this fight. You get out there to St. Louis, qualify 3rd. And, if you look at the names you raced, very tough. Langdon, right? He's 33 on you in the first round. Antron, he's 40 against you. Josh Hart, this new fresh face who is clearly going to be a star. If he isn't becoming one already, he's bringing on a new fan base. And then Mike Salinas in the final round. It was a tough day in names, but you were catching some breaks too, and especially in the final round. And I love how you own that, right? Like some days you're really good and some days you're lucky and some days it's a combination of both and you can't control what's going to happen. But calling it like what went down after the final, you're like, I don't know what happened. I don't know, but I won.
Yeah, and you look back, and I was decent all day on the tree. I was 61st round, 52nd round, missed it there against Josh, and I was 81 or 81, 84 with him. So I mean, it was like I was just a slouch, but some of these guys were stepping up, and I went and talked to Langdon. And I go, dude, I was 50 and I crushed it, or 60 and I crushed it, or whatever it was, and he goes, yeah. I knew I needed to have everything I could, so I rolled it in some. I'm probably 45 or something, but I mean, it's still what it is. And then you go through the day and you get in the final round, and I'm going up there, and I normally I'm one of the first guys to pre-stage just because of our routine is a little quicker than most of the other teams that we race, and every team knows how long the other one takes to do their burnout, their backup, and getting ready to stage. And you that's why one car will start before the other one, or one car will wait 5 or 10 seconds to start after the other guys started, just so that everybody does their same routine, gets into place, and we're not messing up the guy beside us or the girl beside us, and everybody's kind of doing their deal. But I went in and I'm waiting on Bobby to give the go ahead to take the car into pre-stage, and I look up and Mike has already got the top bulb on, and it had been on for a while, and I thought, maybe that's somebody's foot standing there and going to bring him into the beams, and I'm watching it, and it's staying on, and then Bobby gives me the go ahead, so I thought, well, maybe Mike's in, and so I went into pre-stage, and then immediately he's in. And so it kind of rushed me a little bit, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I need to kind of go ahead and get going. So I'm bumping the car. And right as I bump into the light, my bulb flickers, which is, normal. I try to be shallow every time. And so you'll take your eye from that bulb down to the amber light waiting on it. Well, then it was just a split second, and I see the top bulb go out. And whether he did it on purpose, whether he didn't, I didn't know, but it is what it is. I mean, you can roll in deep, you can do whatever, but it's a huge distraction. So I remember looking, and when I looked, the light came on, and I saw him go, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dead late. Like, I am way behind, and I see the scrapper's car just rolling, and I'm like, I really want to let out of the gas. I don't want to be embarrassed like this. But I saw him coming left, and then the car shuts off, and so we're able to round him. And I talked to Mike at the end, and then later in the evening, I talked to Alan Johnson. They had some problems in the bell housing. I don't think they were able to warm the car up before the final, so they go up there, and I don't think the clutch was set properly, and so Mike was struggling to keep the car from rolling. So like I'm waiting, and we're taking our time, and we don't realize that Mike has got every bit of brake he can possibly hold. The
Right.
car is still pulling him, so it pulled him into the beams on pre-stage. Well, then it pulls him into the beams for staging, and that's why the top bulb went out. I mean, because the car's still rolling, and so had I waited another second longer, Mike would have rolled through the beams before the tree ever came on. But that was a blessing for me, because he was 0-11 on the tree, and I'm 140. The guy has to be 87, 88, 89 or something to beat us. I mean, it wasn't like, if he keeps the thing in the groove down through there and just goes A to B, we're sitting ducks just waiting. I mean, it's hard to overcome an 0-11 with a 50, much less a 140.
But none of that would have happened without the problem in the clutch, right? Like everything would have been totally different. It would, he could have gone up there and run his low ET of race day, and maybe you wouldn't have been distracted. There, it would have been a different space time.
And I'm not making any excuses, but I mean, that's what happens. That's when you're there, and it definitely throws you off, because you're focused. All of that happens in like a little bitty screen. You're looking out your helmet, and you got your blinders, and so you're just concentrated on this, and so you're not expecting anything in that circle that you're looking through to be out of the norm. And when that happens, it's a distraction. But we were just fortunate and blessed to be able to do that, and pick that round win.
Well, great deal, great win. Get the points lead back, and now we have 4 to go, which is 1 extra than normal. Starting at the Motorplex, Stampede is speed. All kinds of craziness going on out there. They've been going since Sunday, and I heard there were 20,000 people out there, and they did a lantern, all kinds of stuff. Palmer's out there with the Nitro Pro Mods. Last night, John Baker won $25,000 in his blower Pro Mod. Like, this is a huge event, and you were a part of like figuring out how to get it done, right? Like you were partly the closer, right? Like, bring the Top Fuel car, Greg Abbott, and he got in the car, he signed the bill. That, do you take any special ownership of this? Like, do you feel closer to this event than you do at other events, like that you go to? Do you get a part of this?
Well, definitely. And I mean, Ennis has always been home for me. I mean, that's where I grew up racing. I raced Super Comp there, I raced alcohol there, I've raced Top Fuel there. And it's always been home. I had the opportunity a few years ago to be down at the Capitol and get recognized for the first championship, and met quite a few people there. And through those relationships, I was able to get the ball rolling to help facilitate this with Billy Meyer and the Texas Motorplex and the state of Texas. And so I've been involved in this process from the inception of it, and kind of I found out things were going right here, and made some introductions to these people between some of the lobbyists and people at the Motorplex to try to get their foot in the door and get that. Because I think not only is it a great thing for NHRA drag racing, but it's also a great thing for the state of Texas. And if we can bring more tourists and more fans and attract more people to come to our state, I think it's a great thing, and helps local businesses, helps in Waxahachie, helps in Ennis, helps in that whole area, and just brings people in. So very honored and proud to be a part of that, and to see it come into drag racing and help create something like the Stampede Week, because this is not just a drag race. This is a week-long festival of concerts and bull riding and testing and pro mod races. And I mean, when you can bring names in like Dustin Lynch, and you can bring guys in there with Palmer with the Nitro Studebaker, it's just really something that I'm proud of. Billy Meyer and Andy Carter, those guys at the Motorplex, have done a great job, and I'm just proud to be part of it. So I think that it's going to be an awesome week, awesome weekend, and something that I feel that we should do at other venues. I mean, I think that this is, we've talked about it before. I think there's too many races, but I think if you had less races and did more of this, more people would come, more fans would come, and just enjoy the experience.
Well, we'll see how this goes. And the thing about, I don't want there to be less races, but then again, I'm not spending millions of dollars to go to the races, right? I get, and which race would be the ones to go on the chopping block, but whatever, that's a different story. We got some people out there on social media, like Maddie is out there saying, hi, Steve Torrence.
Hi, Maddie.
And what is this? Joe says, thank you for hanging with fans at Maple Grove, saying what's up to us. Joe Waite was out there at the Grove, says thanks, which is kind of cool. Derek says he's at the Heart of Texas Mechanics Show with his son's projects. Great up-and-coming welders and fabricators. He says his son wants to work for Capco someday. Can we make that happen?
Awesome. We can make that happen. We can make that happen. We've always got people coming in, and like I said, I think I've talked to you about it before. The kids from St. Jefferson College in St. Louis, Missouri, came down, and I talked to some of those kids about coming and going to work with us. So we've always got room.
His name's Joe too, right? Like that guy he was like, hey, I'm the guy. I sent you an email, and he was cool. Where was he that we saw him recently?
Joe Candela. We saw him at St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. There you go. He was a really cool guy, and he had very positive things to say, and loves drag racing, most importantly.
All of those guys are big fans.
Look at this one. We won this guy over. I'm not a Steve Torrence fan per se, but thanks to his multiple appearances on WFO, I have a ton of respect for the man. He's an okay guy. So look at that.
Thank you, Lonnie. I appreciate that.
You're winning him over here. We got Jonesboro, South Carolina checking in. Okay, what about this one? Is there going to be a Capco funny car for next season? Silly season rumor, says Kev in the UK.
Actually, I'd been hearing that rumor too, but no one's notified me of it. So I would love to drive a funny car. I think that it's what's Steve told that fun house during the winter circle and his letters. Driving a funny car. The only funny car I've ever driven, I drove an alcohol funny car back in 2007, got my license, and by far, I will tell you, it's the most fun race vehicle I've ever driven. Other than it being slow, because I'd been in the fuel car already. There's so much going on when they put that body down around you, and the doghouse is there, and then all the tin works around you. It's like driving an RV, but you have this false sense of just there's so much stuff around me. Like I feel like I can go. And then in the alcohol funny cars, you bring up the RPMs. You have to hold there with your foot. You have to switch feet, dump the clutch, hit the gas at the same time, plug second, plug third, and all the while you're driving to keep this thing that's less than half the wheelbase of a dragger in the center of the track going the right direction. And clutch dusk is coming up inside. I mean, it was the coolest thing that I've ever driven. I can only imagine what a Top Fuel funny car would be like, but no, that's not something that it's not something that we're looking to do anytime soon, but it would be fun to drive.
There you go. There you go. All right. And so look, this guy says he's a great champion. Love the Capco teams. Damon says Force versus Steve. Come on. That would be interesting. John, of course, you got to. And so let's talk about the points now. Here we go. 4 races to go. And the way the points have worked out, you are 36 ahead of Brittany, 126 ahead of your dad, 134 ahead of Mike Salinas. And so I'm not discounting anybody. You know how it is. Good luck, bad luck. Someone could win. They could win 2. They could win 3. It could be Billy. But to me, the logic dictates that this is a 2-horse race at the moment. You and Brittany. A lot of people talked about that all year long. You know the reset. How do you look at this as from a storyline perspective? You want to grow the NHRA. I know you've busted my chops a little bit for, starting stuff, but like, I can't see in any of yet. You want to tell that story, by the way, how you and Britt ganged up on poor me?
I told Brittany, I go, look here, this guy's trying to stir the pot over here, and I'm not talking trash. Like, I'm not. If they say I'm talking trash, Britt, it is not me. She goes, what'd you say? I said, I didn't say anything. She goes, what did he say? I said, he said all the stuff. It's Joe's fault. Go get him. And so I just wound her up. I wound her up, let her go, and said, you handle her, Joe, because I am done talking trash. And it's so easy to, you get it. It's your job.
Yeah.
It's not my job. And I'm there to race. I'm there to do the best I can. And so I know both sides of the sword. I get it. But I'm there, and I'm like, Brittany has never been anything but nice to me. And I don't know her that well. She doesn't know me that well, but we're great competitors, and there's no rivalry, but she wants to kick my butt and I want to kick her butt. And so I need to separate myself from any of this, because it's any day of the week, I'm going to lose against a four-man, because John Force and Brittany, they are the first family of drag racing. You're never going to be any good if you said one negative thing. So I just keep my mouth shut, go on. But that, with that being said, their car is running great. She's doing great. And it's going to be tough, because, we didn't run 64. We did run 66. We've been working on some things to get the car big. to get there. Yeah. And everybody knows that Grubby can do that. Grubby's ran 62. It's that thing. He can make one fly, but everything has to be perfect, and conditions can't change enough that it starts in holes. And so, I'd like to say that we were, but I think we're there to run 64 right now. We have made some runs that were that quick in testing, and so I know that we have that in our arsenal, but probably not as consistently as Grubnick. But like I said, not trash. races are won on Sunday, not through qualifying, and that's what we got to capitalize on and do.
Yes.
It's probably, what would you say my dad was 136 out or 126 out?
Yeah, he's
I mean,
126 out.
So that's 6 rounds right now. But you got to remember Pomona is points and a half. So that's 4 rounds. And it's not out of the cards to say Brittany and I both go out first round or something happens. You don't you struggle. Well, those rounds go away really quick. And the caliber of car that my dad's driving right now is just as good as mine. I think sometimes as a driver, you can be your own worst enemy in the seat. And he struggled with that a little bit, but he's doing a really good job. And you got to remember, Billy's a part-time guy. Billy just comes out and has fun, and he'll tell everybody, he goes, I'm here by invitation only from my wife. But he's doing a great job, and you can't count him out because that thing can go out and win the race at any time. So if I'm myself, but if I'm Brittany also, she and I need to be looking over our shoulders at that old man. So we just go do what we do. I mean, I would rather be in my position than hers. She's chasing us right now, and I'm glad to be in that position.
Yeah, I think. And Salinas, by the way, he's got Alan Johnson, who's pretty good. And if he got his, mind right driving wise, they had a problem in the clutch, then, who knows what he's going to do as well. So it's not over by any means. But if we're writing a story, first of all, don't discount the Capco fans out there. I know you wouldn't, but you've spent many years building a group of people that follow you. And yeah, it's not force level yet because he's been out there for 40 years doing that. Charlie's going to have if John is you, then Charlie is Brittany. Does that make sense? Yep. So you would think she would have a lot of built-in fans the day you put her in a race car. So
without a doubt,
you're working on it. But if we're just hyping this, how would you hype it? Hey, fans who have never watched a drag race, football fans, baseball fans, Yankee fans who have nothing else to watch anymore. What would you do to hype these final 4 races? Because I don't know, man, I think it's pretty compelling. You're a compelling, outgoing personality. She's Brittany. She does her thing. The last 4 championships have been won by the both of you. So I get excited just talking about it. But how would you present it in a perfect world?
Well, I mean, excuse me. It is a battle of the 2 most dominant teams over the last 4 years in NHRA drag racing. I mean, Brittany's car has been solid. She won the championship in 2017, and they've continued to do well since. And our car has been very consistent. It's went out and ran, not the quickest every time, but pretty much. And we've been able to stack up points, stack up rounds, stack up race wins. And I don't know what the numbers are, but I mean, I think that we won 5 races last year, 8 the year before, and 11 before. So there's 24. We've won 30 something races in 4 years. That's probably 30-40% of all the races. That I see Rodex says Billy double up at the Motorplex Top Fuel and Super Comp. Yeah, he's heading up there today to go get the supercar going. But it's a little bit surreal to say. I think we've won 9 races this year, and my dad's won 1 or 2. I don't know how many. I think he's won 2. That's 11 out of 16 races. So, I mean, as a team, we've been very consistent and dominant. But right now, the strong horse in the race is Brittany coming on really strong. So, I don't know if we're Rocky and Apollo, or I don't know what you hype it up as, but neither one of us are underdogs. I mean, it's too like I said it in I don't know where, but I mean, the round at Charlotte. I mean, before the race and through all that craziness of timing malfunction, whatever it was, reviewing the round, that was a momentous round.
Yeah.
And that round will later in this season have some implications, I'm sure, because had we won that round, that's 20 more points we have coming into here. Had we lost, or had, haven't being that we lost that round, it's even tighter. So every round, every lap counts. But every point in qualifying, every point that you get for winning rounds, lane choice for the next round, all of those are imperative, and there's no room for mistakes. There's no room for error, and to go up there every time and be perfect is difficult.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. And that's why, like, I just want to grow the sport, man. We need, 20% increase in fans and people who care about this like we do. And that will solve a lot of problems in the sport of drag racing. And I'm trying to do that desperately. I know you are being involved. Do I have it right? Your next win makes you 50 wins, like 50 wins, Steve. That's crazy insane. And you've done it so rapidly.
Yeah, and so that was a confusing thing to me as well, because they gave me the 50 in Sonoma, and I told the guy when he came up to me with the sign, I was like, "No, man, this is not 50. This is number 46 right here." And they didn't argue with me or anything, and I said, "Okay," because I was keeping count, and I didn't realize that they went back and counted the alcohol wins and for the national events in there, but. Yes, this was my 49th national event win in a Top Fuel car. So the next one will be 50. And you look at the list of people that have won 50 wins in Top Fuel, and I think that puts us fifth on the list or something.
Yeah.
And you look at those names, and
Joe Amato is next. Like,
yeah, and it's what is it? It's Tony Schumacher, Antron, Joe Amato, Doug Clitta, like all
Larry
right
Dixon.
there. Larry Dick. So you look at those names, and those are all guys that I've looked up to in the sport forever. Those were my heroes, and to just be able and privileged to have my name in that position is man. It's like a little kid. You're like, no way, that's not real. But I mean, it is, and I've been able to do it with each and every one of these Cap boys. All of these wins have come within the same guys, minus like 4 races. I think of the 49, Gary Pritchett's been with me for every single one of them. Hogan has been with me for every one but one, and then I think we won 3 races in 12, maybe 1 race in 13 or something, and then the rest of them have been with the guys that I've had since there. So I mean, we've done all of this together, and that's what really makes it special, and to be able to have a team that is stuck together that long and have that continuity, that's what makes you successful.
I just brought up the list, and it's a mind blower. And like, this is really, because I remember sitting on the back of the truck with you in the lanes in Gainesville when, was it 2012 or something? Like, this thing is really just starting to get rolling and you're feeling it. But you, if you won out, you would be number 3 on the all-time wins list this year, right? Because it's Schumacher at 85, Larry Dixon at 62, and then Joe Amato. And this is the shocking thing. Antron, 52 wins. The idea that you could pull even with Antron, that's what's shocking to me, because he's one of the greatest of all time and he's still active, that you've been able to gain and you still got 3 wins to do it, but that's just insane numbers that you're putting up to tie or pass Antron Brown, tie or pass a Joe Amato, and then obviously Tony Schumacher and Larry Dixon are not currently driving. To get to Tony, that would be some effort. He put it out there, right? But not impossible if you guys still are interested in drag racing over the next few years.
No, it's not impossible, but let me tell you, it's effort to get to 50, much less 52 or 62 or 85. I mean, I don't know if I'll live long enough to 85, but it just, what it does is it goes to show you how dominant and how successful those other drivers have been, because to the most difficult thing to do is win one, and then it becomes a little less difficult because your mental fortitude and just being able to go do it and then win a championship. And so
I got you. Unless you're getting now your audio's off. Let's see if it comes back. Yeah, the audio went off when you got that text message, those pesky text messages. Just come right back through the link. Come back through, Steve. I'm going to kick you out. Yeah, kick the guest. You get a text message. How about that, though? Unbelievable. Coming up on 50 wins. All right, everybody, get your comments in the comment section. We're going to say goodbye to Steve here in a second. Going to take some, some discussion about what's going on out there at the Texas Fall Nationals. And good for Marvin to point out that Billy is going to be running in Super Comp and Top Fuel. I think that's pretty exciting that Billy is going to be doing. I just want to hit Steve with a couple other comments. Hey, he's back.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
But that was amazing. No, it was good stuff. We saw you get the text message. This guy, John, says, we need to keep the Wally in Texas. Go get it, Capco. Texas proud. Looking forward to getting a picture with you this weekend. And, that's what I'm talking about. That's the engine that's building over the years. And that's why this whole conversation is connected, in that you don't earn fans after one season. And you don't really earn fans after 3 seasons. It's a lifetime thing where people go and they watch you win. And that guy that he hung out with you at Maple Grove, now he's your fan and he rides with you. And that's kind of the experience you guys are having as you go through this.
Yeah, and you're 100% correct, because I can't discredit any of my fans. I have some of the most true diehard ride for the brand fans. I mean, they're not fair weather fans because they know Steve Torrence may do some dumb stuff, but at the end of the day, the people that I've been able to meet and talk to is baffling, that said, I didn't like you. I don't know you, but I didn't like you. And now that I've met you and talked to you, you're not what my perception of you was. And I mean, you explain it over and over, and you and I have talked about it. People see 15 seconds of you at a time on television in one of the most high energy settings you could ever imagine. I think the only person that you could probably interview immediately after that would be that jacked up, maybe a PBR bull rider.
Right.
I mean, they're strapping themselves on a 2,000-pound bull. We're strapping ourselves in a 2,000-pound race car, and their rides a lot longer than us, but we're doing a lot. And it's just, when you get out, emotions are high. And
let's hope it works. Let's hope the audio didn't cut out. The audio cut out. All right. Well, we're going to say goodbye to Steve as soon as he's good. Everyone's like, Steve, you're doing so good on WFO, man. I'm really loving this thing. Don't text the man when he's in the middle of an interview, people. Don't do it. No, listen, the Steve and Brittany stuff, I think we did a good job. Here he is. He's coming back. All right, Steve, we're going to say goodbye to you, man, before you get it. Your phone is blowing up, them Capco boys.
This thing is blowing up. But what I was saying, I have some of the most diehard best fans.
And that's it. I'm just going to say goodbye to you, brother. Where are you at? There you're back. You're back. I got you.
I'm back. Okay. But
a nice goodbye to everybody so that in case you get knocked off.
Guys, girls, fans, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in Texas. It's the home race. It's the biggest race of the season for us. It has some of the most diehard implications of, we need to go there, we need to run well, we need to win. You need to be there to see it. Support us, whether you're supporting me, Brittany, Billy, Salinas, whoever it is. Show up. It's going to be action-packed. It's the stampede of speed at the Texas Motorplex, and we're doing big things in Texas. So show up, show out, and let's have a good time. Thank you for everybody that supported us. Joe, thank you for having me on. It's always a blast. And I do like to give you crap. I like to harass you down there at the other end. And I like to pick on you. I know you can.
Yeah. And that's why, when you to me, first of all, I've never driven a nitro car, Steve, but I would imagine it does get the adrenaline going. That's just a guess, but I can imagine the adrenaline is going. So I don't hold anything against anyone that is said in the 10 minutes after you get out of a nitro car. No way. And by the way, you've been fine. It's not.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Now that J.R. Todd, on the other hand, that's a different story. But we'll talk about that. And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway. All right.
I can't throw stones at anybody. I just need to leave the helmet on, get in the tow vehicle.
There you go. No, man, keep being you. Keep being you. We'll clean it up afterwards. All right, Steve. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There we go. Steve Torrence with us here on WFO Radio. How about that? The champ, the three-time champ. And, referencing some conversations that have happened over the past couple of weeks, because he knows that gosh, guys, we love this sport. It's so amazing. You got NASCAR like way up here, like out of the screen. We can make up some of that ground. We just got to get on the same page. We just got to off some of our just angry fans. We just got to get rid of them. No, I'm kidding. But we're convinced them that they're mistaken. Like, where did I get where is this? Look at this. I got this today. A letter from someone. Rick. Thank you, Rick. Rick sent in a self-addressed stamped envelope for WFO stickers. And I'm looking around because I sent them out this morning, right? So guys who had sent out some envelopes for WFO stickers, your stuff is in the mail. And I even threw in a WFO patch for you guys because I appreciate it. But Joe, I've been following WFO for over 5 years now. I recently discovered WFO Radio TV on YouTube. I like that even better. Your show is always informative and entertaining. I enjoyed you. How about that? He's a listener for 5 years, and he just recently discovered WFO Radio TV on YouTube. Do I need to tell the podcast listeners that we're live streaming this thing on YouTube? Do they not know? And vice versa? Do I do a poor job of promoting what I'm doing? Uh-oh. Maybe I need to do a better job. Need to work harder. You're always informative and entertaining. I enjoyed your work at the Dodge SRT U.S. Nationals throughout the years. I've attended 34 U.S. Nationals so far. Thanks for your enthusiasm. End of sentence. NHRA is not dead, says Rick Beck 88 from Twitter. And that's the thing, man. You got so many people like invested in doing negative stuff when you got Steve and you got Brittany and you got Josh Hart, you got Mike Salinas, and you got all these people like investing so much to raise the game, to elevate it, to make it better. What they're trying to do at the Texas Motorplex, $15,000 extra for low ET of the second qualifying session up there. Money, man. Throwing out some money, giving the money to people who are going to try to go out there and get it. Are they going to go get it? We don't know. But this sport can grow 5%. It can grow 10%. But everyone's got to get on the same page. Like, let's go at it from the other direction now. Steve just talked to the Capco team, Capco fans, like this guy, Lonnie, Steve is winning him over the years on the show. And it's exactly how it should work. But if you're a Brittany Force fan, you should gear up and head down to the Motorplex and root your girl on. This is a huge opportunity for her. They're testing today, by the way. They are testing. This is what rivalries are made of. Trust me, I just got punched in the face last night. The Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Sometimes they win and sometimes we win. And in this given episode, they won and they ended our season, and it hurts really bad. But it's a great rivalry and it's entertaining. The next time it goes down, you can bet we're all going to be watching, and hopefully it'll go in a different direction a little bit. But that's what it's about. This one or that one. Who do you identify with? Who do you like? Where are they going? He says neither one of them is an underdog. I think Brittany's the underdog. Brittany's going into Dallas, Texas. So who's got the home field advantage? The home track advantage definitely goes to Steve Torrence and Capco in Texas, right? And they've won that race in the past, but so has Brittany. And the whole 2017 thing, which I don't like to look at because there was a, horrific incident that in an alternate universe, it goes another way. That was a horrible deal. And I just, I'm happy that Steve is, came out of that, number one. But that's where 2017 turned. So if you're a Brittany Force fan, you got to go rep your driver. You got to get in the mix. You got to wear your gear. You got to go down there and you got to be loud. You got to be proud. You got to get in the face in a very polite, fun way with a beer, with some, Capco fan, and get out there and watch the sport and make it fun. Make it fun, not negative, not angry, but make it fun, and vice versa. Like if you're a Capco fan and you see a Brittany Force fan, like make friends with them, joke around with them. like I do with all the Boston Red Sox fans that I meet. If I see a Red Sox fan, I'm not going to silently let them go off. I'm going to tell them something to let them know that I get the rivalry. I respect them. I know what they've done, what they do, what they're capable of. And when we beat them, it means a lot. That's what sport is about. And, a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people just want to become angry and enraged. And we're finding out like why lately, the whole Facebook thing. I talked about it on Ignition a little bit, that they push out negative stuff that make people enraged and angry on purpose. Dude, that is insane. If you really think about it, what if there was a person in your life that everything they told you was just enraging to you? Like everything they said was enraging, made you angry. Like, would you want to be around them? Let's see what John says. Get your comments in the comment section. Joe, are you doing Fox or Track PA this weekend? All right, first of all, NHRA.TV, John. And that's what we're doing. NHRA.TV, that is the plan. Unless there's something going on that I don't know about, or someone falls into a deep well and can't get out, then obviously I'm on call. I think I'm the in case of emergency break glass guy. I think I have assumed that role. When all else fails. I'm kidding, John. I'm kidding. All right. Before I get your comments in the comment section, thoughts, predictions on the weekend, take the show in a different direction. I'm going to go for like 10 more minutes on this, and then we'll post the podcast and get ready to travel to Dallas early tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'm going to try to get out to the track a little bit early. But I do want to tell you about the people who make it possible. Like yesterday, we got a new Patreon. A new Patreon jumped on board, bought the yearly membership, bought it for a year, bought it. Supporting for a year. Thank you, sir. You'll get your welcome message very soon. Maybe even right after this show, you'll get welcomed to the Patreons. And we introduce every new member to everybody else. Like, hey, everybody, this is Larry. Larry, everybody. But you get special, unique content. You get to watch and participate with the Ignition Show. And most importantly, you're supporting and helping WFO Radio grow and conquer the world. Yes, in a peaceful way. Of course, patreon.com/WFO radio. Just go to the website, WFOradio.com. Have you spent any time in the WFOradio.com archive? Pretty insane. Got a lot of stuff. Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. Coming up at 4 o'clock today will be a Q&A session about ring seal and various questions on the Hidden Horsepower Facebook group, on the Total Seal Facebook page, and the Total Seal YouTube channel. That is scheduled for 4 o'clock. Check it out. It's not live. It's Memorex, but we're trying a new thing here. And hopefully it's all going to work and your comments and everything are encouraged. There'll also be a trackside tech talk for those of you who are Lucas Oil Series racers who are going to be out there on Friday. You have to have a ticket to the race. You can't come through the gate and say, I'm here for the tech talk. I want to get in free. That doesn't work. But if you have a ticket to the race, go by the Total Seal Pit, approximately 11:30 a.m. Central Time, of course. And another tech talk will be going on. Keith Jones from Total Seal, Ed Keebler from Rottler Manufacturing, and the people who have shown up to the past ones, a who's who of celebrity drag racers, engine builders, and otherwise, to learn some of the honing tips, material, all of that stuff. RPK, VPK, all kinds of, it's penetrating. I'm learning about stuff. And now that I have my own engine out of the race car and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, believe me, that is a big part of it. TotalSeal.com. We'll see you at the Trackside Tech Talk. Samtech.edu. Hoping Brian Massengill heads over there. Samtech.edu. Start your education at full speed. Blockhead CNC programs, Motorsport EFI. Listen, it's the next generation of doers, builders, makers, engine builders, machinists. Like if you want that education, Sam Tech gets you started off right. And then Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. The Dragster Adventure is what I recommend you do. Get it as a gift, like a home run Christmas gift right now is, like, not that the Yankees would know very much about home run, but what would really hit the ball out of the park for you is a Frank Hawley Dragster Adventure gift for the person in your life who would love it. Of course, start at $399. You can definitely afford that. And you should do it. Hit the ball out of the park. Yeah, you could tell I'm a little passive aggressive today about that whole deal. Only one way to attack things like that, in the passive aggressive way. Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33084. I sent out a bunch today. You'll get your stickers if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and take care of all the busy work. And if you throw in like a nice little card like this with a message, man, that's even better. I might read it on the air. My goodness. And when I head over to the P.O. Box, it makes things so much more fun. All right, let's see what everybody else have got to say. As we get ready to bounce on out of here, I do want to remind you, yesterday we spoke with Alan Reinhart and Angel. If you haven't seen that one yet, Angel explained all the damage and everything she's had to do and why she's so motivated to win this race down there, the Texas Fall Nationals. And Reinhart brought us through the normal preview stuff. The archive is loaded. Last week we had Matt Hagan and Dickie Venables. Together, we have been just getting after it with all the content. One thing, I'd like to see some more shares, guys. I'd like to see a little more sharing. And also our YouTube channel, WFO Radio TV, with the big Facebook outage the other day. It made me think. The YouTube channel, not that YouTube can't go down as well. And we had a lot of people watching on Twitter also, but you should be subscribed in more than one place. What if one goes down one day, right? Like today we had like 20 people on there and then it jumped up all of a sudden. Like, what the heck was that? They control who sees what. The only thing that can help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope, is to share, retweet, share the show on your feeds with your friends. It's the only thing that can help WFO and supporting our sponsors and becoming a Patreon and all that stuff. All right, let's see what everybody just said. Ricky, you're going to get punched in the face, Ricky. You're going to get a big punch in the face from me, Ricky. Don't say that stuff, Ricky. That's the wrong thing to say, Ricky. We're Pontiac people here, Ricky. Just LS that Firebird. What a horrible thing for you to say, Ricky. And I know that's why you said it. It's okay. No. We're going to go slower, and we're going to spend more money to do it, Ricky. Woo! Pontiac. 16th birthday gift for AJ. Exactly right. Tell Frank you heard it on WFO Radio. Spy on Lyle for us. Heard he's in a new car. Great show, Joe, says Scott. Yeah, man. They've had a bunch of stuff. I'll go see Lyle and find out what's going on over there. And the season is winding down. We've had all these winter shows back to back. I haven't really been able to, fulfill some of the early season obligations. Like I told Lyle, we got to get you on WFO. Just, I don't know. What is this? Panic the Pontiac. I don't know what that means. Sounds frightening, though. Have y'all seen the Pro Mods with Top Fuel engines in them? Scott Palmer and the Studezilla and the Bad Attitude Chevelle is from my hometown, Wichita, says Brandon Westmoreland. And the answer is not running and in person. I've seen the Studezilla and actually gotten a tour of the Studezilla from Scott, of course, at the track, but I've never seen it run. And I know they tried to get down the racetrack the other day, and I think Studezilla went up in smoke immediately, and the Bad Attitude Chevelle got down most of the way. I also hear, rumor has it, that Spencer Massey has got some sort of A Fuel Cadillac XLR thing out there. And talk about a mind blower right there. Cadillac XLR, A Fuel. So it's, what is it? A nitro injected, non-supercharged. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go find it out. That's the thing. Doing interesting stuff. Like Brogdon with his comp car. Attention, drag racers. Do something unique, please. That's what's going to grow the sport. You can only have so many, no offense to the Cobalt. No offense. You can have only so many of one thing. And when Roger Brogdon made that station wagon comp car, when Spencer Massey makes a Nitro XLR, when Palmer is doing Studezilla, that helps drag racing. Panic the Pontiac has got to be the car name. No, man, the car does not have a name like that, Panic. It reminds me of my good friend Mike Panic. Let's see what else. Making the world angry one day at a time. Well, that's what we learned. Not that we talk about that stuff lately, but I knew it. I've been telling you this for years on WFO Radio. Been saying it for real. Unhealthy deal. The news. Why is it all my friends are so enraged all the time and angry about stuff that I didn't even know about was happening? Oh, well, it's because they're receiving it in their feeds and they're reacting to it and they're getting more and more and more because they know how to get you to react. It's really a terrible story. Really a terrible story. Fun interview. It's always great to see the other side of Steve. I always tell AJ it's a good listen. Steve is a hardworking team. Yeah. So Steve, Q1 in St. Louis. Brittany's down there. Steve's down there. And he's grabs Brittany. It's don't listen to this guy. And you could see they're both plotting against me. And who the heck am I that these two champion race car drivers are teaming up against me. And so he just told you what the conversation was. I didn't know what the conversation was. But he's like, yeah, you're trying to start some stuff. The answer is no. I'm not trying to start anything. I'm coming in the middle of what is already a very clear and defined rivalry between two premier Top Fuel drivers and teams who are at the top of the game. Their last two champions. There's been Steve Torrence and there's been Brittany Force. The last two champions. And if we're going to get some of these football fans to watch, if we're going to get some of these baseball fans to watch, if we're going to get some of these insert sport here fans to watch, NASCAR fans, like you put Steve Torrence and you put Brittany Force and you put them out there, I think people are going to be interested in that. I just do. Ricky, so many good people racing. I hate to see any of them lose. Yeah, you look at the ladder at the start of the day and you can come up with a great story, a great reason why everybody deserves to win. Max, okay, Joe, what was the JR deal about? Haha. Yeah, no, it's okay. Not going there. It was no big deal. That's the thing. It was no big deal. It was a nothing moment. Total miscommunication. But my phone exploded with everybody wanting to know what it was all about. And that's why we have Patreon. Good morning, everyone. I'm ready for the next round of racing. I'm sure it's going to be a fierce one again, says Paul. That's it. That's it. And Maddie, how about those bad? I don't know. I don't know what that means, Maddie. I'm sorry. I'm confused. But that's just normal. Did I hear correctly that Alan Johnson's going to tune for Doug next year? You misspelled Alan. That's the thing. The rumor mill is saying a lot of things right now. The rumor mill said that Mike Green was going to leave Justin Ashley, but I didn't say that because I wasn't confident that it was true. And then Justin Ashley puts out a press release yesterday that says Mike Green is staying with the team. And there is a line in there, though, if you read about it, that says that Mike was very upfront about everything. So, what does that mean? Like I was being wooed away to another team? Like, I don't know. But that is a perfect example. If we just threw the rumors out there and then they're wrong, like Mike Ashley is, Justin Ashley is going to lose Mike Green. Mike Green's going to another team and we don't know where he's going and he's going to Justin Ashley is going to lose him. And that's the rumor. And it is the rumor. And it was a rumor. And so this one that you just talked about, Brian mentioned it, I guess, on the television show about, maybe Alan Johnson, maybe what's going to happen. Maybe he's going to leave Salinas. Maybe he's going to go somewhere else. Maybe he's going to go to Coletta. Maybe he's going to tune Doug. Maybe. But for me, other than just like whimsically kicking something like that around, like, yeah, well, that would be interesting. I don't like to go there because I have patience. I'll just wait because it's the rumor mill, the silly season. There's only 4 weeks left in the season. And typically I am against these kind of things because I think it takes attention away from the racing. Like, I think it would be great to have like the NFL does, like a moratorium on announcements like that until after the season is over, because like it spoils the stew. Everybody starts talking like, look at this guy. Instead of putting up a prediction, who's going to win the race, people? Who's going to win the race? And see, he wants to talk about next year. What about next year? What about the year after next year? Who's going to be doing that? What's going to happen at the end of 2024? Like, no, focus. We need everybody to focus. You've got 2 Top Fuel racers within 40 points and a chance to win the championship. You got Billy Torrence running double duty this weekend, Super Comp and Top Fuel. You got Matt Hagan, got a chance to knock out the field with a win this weekend. You got Pro Stock, 2 of the greatest of all time. Greg Anderson, who was inducted into the Mooresville Hall of Fame yesterday and was on site for the induction. And Erica Enders, battling it out. Someone will be a 5-time champion. 5-time champion. Someone's going to be a 5-time champion. Is it going to be Erica? Is it going to be Greg? Is Greg going to get his act together? Is he going to shake off the 080 light? Like, what's going to happen? Let's talk about that. The stuff that is happening now, not the rumor that might or may not be true. Or maybe it's true. Even if it is true, let's take a second to consider it's true. They're all true. All the rumors, everything you've heard, they're all true. Is now the time to be talking about them? Man, can't we use this in the off season? Can't we wait for a week? I would make a rule. I don't know how you do it, though. Keep people's mouths shut, right? Let's push all that silly season stuff to the 2 weeks after the year. Make all those announcements at the same time. Is that even possible? Probably not. But that's the way I think it should go every year. Everybody wants to talk about everything other than what's going on right now. Let's see what Ronnie says. Keep it all Pontiac. My dad taught me to drive his 4-speed 400 1970 Trans Am. I wish you had that car right now. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Here's the deal. Project WFO, until we have a better name, will go forward. Project WFO is my own race car that I won my track championship in 1995 with. I finished 11th overall at the 5-day bracket race and won, many different races. Kind of been just sitting around languishing for several years. And I've had a lot of motivation from a lot of people to do something with it. I wanted to go bracket racing. Of course, those people who have heard that Palm Beach is going away, my local track is going away. What have I always wanted to do with the car, right? Like, it would be great to put it back on the street. It would be interesting to make it a pro touring car and go cruise around, do stuff like that. What am I going to do with the car? The answer is, with my work schedule and life schedule, I really would love to be able to run. My aspirations are low. NHRA Super Street at a divisional race once, maybe twice a year. So all the infrastructure is there for the most part. Like, I have the car, I got the trailer. I just got to go through the engine, maybe find a little bit of power. We got another intake manifold we can put on it, just something reliable. Then I need a carburetor, and I have a carburetor, but I need a throttle stop and all the associated stuff. And I want to get out there and, mix it up a little bit with the greats of the NHRA. Even if they wear me out, it would be great for the show. Do some YouTube content, have a little fun, bring the audience behind the scenes. That is the plan. And it all starts with getting this thing out, which we did this past weekend while some were getting married and some were dumb. Boy, man, the Yanks. I'm glad you had good, something really positive happen this past weekend, Dominic. That will definitely make things better. All right. Final thoughts. Monica. Funny car, Matt. So that will be, if Hagan wins, it's kind of a knockout, right? Like, I don't want to call it a knockout, but if Hagan wins, depending on who he beats in the final round, it becomes a very narrow race for the championship in funny cars. So they got an opportunity to do something. And this is drag racing. You never know. But right now is World Series of Poker time. And when they put the hand up on the screen, 90%, 10%, you could see the likeliness of a comeback victory. And if Matt Hagan wins again, where they've won again, because I've been there in the winner's circle with Dickie, it's going to be very hard for anybody to wrestle it out of them. They are, like Reinhardt said, they're the team to beat. Steve and Top Fuel. Steve wins Top Fuel. I'm not saying it's over, depending on what Brittany does. Like, if he beats Brittany in the final round, it's still a race. But if Brittany can go down there and win and beat Steve and win the Texas Fall Nationals, that is a major statement, a statement by the team, by Grubnick. That's why they're testing today, and maybe tasting too. Pro Stock Erica. Okay, I don't know. I can't call Pro Stock, and Pro Stock by too many possibilities. It was great talking to Angel the other day. Steve Johnson without Jock, going to be very interesting. Keep watching Joey Gladstone, guys. Keep watching Joey Gladstone. Joey Gladstone, they got the bikes are fast, right? He didn't get to the final round by accident. The bikes are fast. And I mean, the Steve Johnson thing, that was a little bit by accident, but you get the gist. The guy is driving with purpose right now. Steven says, hope to meet you at the Plex. I'll be there Friday. Go to the Total Seal Tech Talk, 11:30 a.m. I'll definitely be there. You can find me there. I'll be out there tomorrow, more than likely. Time for you to get out of there and race. Yeah. Like Dave and Sue Morris said, it's not Joe goes into the garage and tinkers around with stuff. It's Joe goes racing. Exactly. Let's beat a Tesla. It has to be an episode for that season. Yeah, I'll go find that Tesla and beat him. As long as it's not plaid. I have a 455 Pontiac in my G-Body wagon. It's a turd, though. It runs high 13s. I don't think that's a turd, man. Come on. Anything 13 seconds or quicker is a pretty quick car. Yes. Modern day stuff goes faster. But 13 seconds, we spent a lot of money to go into the 13s the first time around. Ronnie says, would be incredible. Love show you racing. Thank you, Ronnie. That's the plan. That's the plan. And we're going to bring on the right people, right, to make this thing happen in the right way. I hope Steve-O, Greg, and Caps get a win. So Steve would not quite lock up the championship, but that would be a big step forward. Greg would expand the lead on Erica, and it would still be a fight right down to the finish, because in Pro Stock, you can lose first round. That's the thing. Anyone can lose first round in Pro Stock. And Caps getting a win, even over Hagen in the final round, would tighten things up. WFO bracket race. Yeah, I would love. Exactly. You got the idea, Ricky. Rooting for Force and Funny Car still the master. Well, exactly. John Force is still in the hunt in Funny Car. Everybody really is. Robert Hite could win out. They just haven't shown the ability to win out just yet. But he is Robert Hite. My hopeful predictions: Brittany Force, John Force, Erica Enders, Angel. Blake, is there something we should know? The Lady Racers, Blake. You love the Lady Racers. Blake loves the Lady Racers. I like it too. Brittany, well, John's not a Lady Racer. You should have gone with Alexis. Wes is pushing for YouTube only. You know what? It makes sense. It makes sense. And just in terms, not quite as shareable, not quite as many people on there commenting, but more monetizable. And the throttling that happens on Facebook is terrible, guys. It's terrible. They hold us back. Our WFO Radio Facebook page has got like 8,000 likes. No purchased, no nothing, totally organic. Over the years, maybe I could have done better. Maybe I could have done worse. Been doing this show for a long time, working my tail off. Mike English been calling me WFO Joe on the mic for many years. Like, I've got what I got. The following is what it is, right? But I can tell you every single one of them is a real person that followed me organically. And because of our limited scope on the page, unless we get more shares, we're limited. And, you know, it is a specific content. It's NHRA drag racing. Go for Joe, Drag Illustrated time. There you go. Yeah, speaking of which, it is time for us to head on out because we got Total Seal at 4 o'clock. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thanks to Steve Torrence for coming on the show. Thanks to everybody. And look at Kev. He's going to watch his next show. I love it. Yeah. Exactly. All right, guys. I'll be out there at the Plex tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the following week, we're going to be in Bristol, Tennessee, Thunder Valley. So get ready for that as well. I already got some contacts. I root for Alexis when John Force is out. There it is, Blake. Nails it. Safe travels. Thank you. Thanks to everybody. And thanks to Steve-O. That was a good conversation. And Lonnie is like, he likes Steve now because Steve goes on WFO. The archive is loaded. The mobile app loaded. And the archive is ready to roll. All right, guys. We see you at the Plex, the Stampede of Speed. Yep.